Hello and welcome. You are watching News 9 Live. I'm Krishna Kumar and I'm being joined by my colleague Lakshana Gulati. And at this hour, we are discussing something that's very important for the LGBTQIA plus community, which have got the psychiatrists' backing even as the case comes up for hearing at the Supreme Court. The Indian Psychiatric Society on Sunday issued a statement taking a resolute stance in support of legalizing same-sex marriage in India. The Indian Psychiatric Society, in their statement, said that there is no scientific evidence to suggest that marriage and adoption are not viable for individuals who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex and asexual. Preventing any civil rights may lead to mental health issues, according to that statement by the Indian Psychiatric Society. Last month, the Supreme Court of India referred the pleas seeking legal validation of same-sex marriages to a 5-judge constitution bench for adjudication, and the case will now be heard on the 18th of April this month. The centre had opposed the legalization of same-sex marriages in the top court, and we here at News 9 Plus with Lakshana Gulati have come up with a sharp, incisive documentary on the matter. Take a look at this sneak peek.
When I finally came, you were standing with strangers. When I called your name, and I called to your heart, just as loud as a train. 'Cause whenever you're lonely, well, I feel the same. And I've loved you forever.
Hello, am I audible?
Hi, I'm Chaitanya Sharma.
I am Abhishek Ray. We met on Facebook during the lockdown of 2020.
I fell in love with his smile and mustache.
Like anybody else, we all grow up with the notion of spending our lives with someone,
I really want to have this proper wedding, and why not? One thing is the reality is like we are not legally married. As of now, we are socially married. If you're decriminalizing a same-sex relationship, I think there's no point of stopping for same-sex marriage.
It is an institution, and the marriage is always between men and women. It can't be between two men or two women.
Since the Supreme Court had decriminalized homosexuality, which means that this society can accept sex, but it cannot accept love.
You think that marriage will solve everything. It will not.
I think a lot of the discomfort and phobia comes from the fact that people haven't seen same-sex relationships.
We still are denying people their rights based on who they love and who they are.
Across the globe, the journey between decriminalizing same-sex relationships and according them the recognition of marriage has taken its own sweet time. The United Kingdom took over 40 years. The United States took 12. France took over 200 years. And even in Taiwan, it was only in 2019 that same-sex marriages were recognized.
Same-sex marriages, India Ready is the documentary on News 9 Plus. Make sure you log on and catch it. And the person who's made it is with us in the studio, Lakshana Gulati. Lakshana, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Tell us, this is a very important news development that's taking place, and this news event that's waiting to take place. That is the Supreme Court hearing on the 18th of April on the legalization of same-sex marriages in this country, and also the fact that now the community has got the backing of the Indian Psychiatric Society. Tell us about what exactly is your documentary dealing with, and how important it is considering the latest news developments.
Thank you so much for that, Krishna. Now, before I come to the latest news development that you spoke about, I'd like to tell you why this documentary is important. You know, in 2018, when homosexuality was decriminalized, the Supreme Court actually, you know, when the hearings were happening, the Supreme Court actually said that we don't know who these people are. We don't know who the LGBTQIA community in India is. And these are real people. They are people like you and me, you know, who are fighting for their rights. So in 2018 was when homosexuality was decriminalized. And now in 2023, we've come to a point where we are, Krishna, really talking about, I mean, can you imagine the notion of marriage I grew up with, and probably you've grown up with? It's always, you know, whenever you see wedding albums and you see wedding pictures, I have not seen a man garlanding a man or a woman garlanding a woman. You know, it was giving me goosebumps just watching those pictures of the documentary and the case study that I did. So, which is why, you know, stuff that has social interest and that kind of, you know, talks about people, it's so important to talk about these issues. And that's exactly why these petitioners, there are 4 sets of petitioners who've gone to the Supreme Court. And in 2023, the Supreme Court has actually taken up petitions pertaining to same-sex marriages in India. This is huge. And on Sunday, like you said, the Psychiatrist Society of India came up with actual backing for the LGBTQIA community, and they said that there could be mental health, you know, repercussions and it's at the heart of it. What is it? It's about denying a section of people the basic rights. You know, they just want rights that are, you know, given to you and me, stuff that we take for granted, you know. And even if it's about going as radical, maybe as asking you to kind of redefine the concept of marriage that you've grown up with, so why not? So
right. I'm also curious to know, when you were doing these interviews for your documentary, you know, what were the big revelations for you as a person and as a journalist?
Well, the big revelation for me was the fact that, you know, we as a society, Indian society is extremely dynamic. You know, who knew? And we are actually, you know, if the court gives its judgment in the affirmative, in 2023, we are going to be one of the fastest countries in the world to have actually kind of speeden up the rate at which we decriminalized homosexuality and recognized same-sex unions, you know. And I feel that, you know, despite the tug-of-war between the center has filed an affidavit and strongly opposed it, you know, because their stand is that a marriage presupposes a union between a man and a woman. But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it's people who make the society, and the center stand is where it is, the petitioner stand is where it is, and we have a very, very dynamic judiciary. We have a very dynamic Chief Justice of India. So I'm eagerly waiting to see what April 18th and the hearing will bring.
Absolutely, it'll be very important. That's an important date, April 18th. That's when the Supreme Court will be taking up those petitions. Lakshana Gulati, they're joining us with that important documentary, ladies and gentlemen. The same-sex marriage is India ready. Make sure you catch it on News9 Plus. Lakshana Gulati, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio and putting things into perspective. And with that is a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off. Keep it with News9.